Okay, we should be done. Gently applying the masking tape. Once again, remember you want it overlapping. This also helps hold it in place while we're painting, which is kind of handy. But you want it overlapping a little because when we gently remove the masking tape, you'll have a lot less tearing. I'm going to give you a couple more examples so we can do it this way. It doesn't have to be exact. We just want to see a nice configuration of lines all across it so we fill the whole entire background with that. I don't want them crossing over. We want to keep them lines. This is one of the more simple ways that you can do it. If you kind of need, you need to try this out first, to do it diagonally all the way across. Notice how they are extended over the edge again. So when we pull them off, it won't tear as much. Notice that I tried to keep the lines as straight as I could possibly. Now these diagonals can come from this top right hand corner, they can come from the left up, they can come from the right up, however you want to do it. And then this is also an option that makes a really cool pattern. We start at the top. This one will be a little bit more difficult to remove, and you might end up having a little space up here that's white that we could tape over again to create some more color up here to fill this whole entire idea. But this will create kind of like colored rays. And of course, if you guys need any help at all applying the tape or removing the tape, please let me know. I never mind coming around and helping you with that. The next part, we are going to start adding some color. Now, the center of our painting is of course going to have this cactus with these really beautiful flowers in it. So we want to make sure not to put too much green around the middle because you don't want it to bleed anything out. And the same with the kind of pink. We want to try to keep this kind of center without too dark of a green or a pink that's super similar so it doesn't blend in together. Although this is going to go over the surface, so we can still use those colors. You just kind of want to accentuate the cactus by having different colors coming up from behind it. So be mindful of that. That right in the center here, we are going to have our cactus. So now I'm going to show you how to start adding the colors. Now, one of the most important things about watercolor is it can be very fickle. The more water you add to it, the harder it can be to control. It is easier to blend when you add a certain amount of water, but you don't want to add too much water. You never want to take your water and pour it in. You never want to do that. That's going to create just a really thin, watery effect, and it's going to be hard to keep off of different parts. So I'm going to start up at this corner with a red. We're just going to add, you're going to dip it in your water and just kind of swirl it around to get it started, especially if it's dry. You just want to give it a couple swirls, kind of mix that in and saturate your brush nicely. Then you're going to come in, and it is okay if it goes over. It is watercolor paint, it's water-based, so when we wipe the tables off at the end of the hour, that's totally fine. I would love to see you guys blend colors together that really go. So I'm going to use some warm colors up in this corner, and I'm going to start off with the top on this line red. And I wash my paintbrush in between each one, and I also usually will take my paper towel and carefully dry the brush just a little bit. It's one of the big reasons you need a paper towel. Then we dip the brush back into the water and we gently saturate the next color so that we can use it. Then I'll add it here. And you notice you can kind of see a distinct separation. We'll get to that to where we'll blend it across and make it a little bit more blended. Once again, we rinse our brush, we dip our brush in the water, and then we do the same with the yellow here. So I'm going to dip it a couple times and really mix it in, and I'll see the brush getting saturated with the paint, and then add it to my orange here. And now you see it kind of creates this beautiful effect. So if you want to take and just barely dip your brush in there and gently, don't add a lot of water, just a little, to blend those colors together just a bit and give it kind of a tie-dye effect almost. So I'm going to go ahead and do that particular set of colors right here on this one as well. And like I said, you don't have to start off with the red and the warm colors. You can start off with some cool colors or some complementary colors, just kind of blended together. I just want each line you make, I want you to come back and see if you're not careful. Like I forgot to blot my brush in between that. You're gonna get a little bit too much of the orange in there. We don't want to do that. So then we're gonna come back through once again, just barely blend the colors into each other to create that tie-dye effect again. So now I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do if I want to make a certain set of colors. So I added purple in my last one. Whenever you make purple, you're going to actually start with red, take some of that red, and you're gonna add it to the blue to get the purple. So we're gonna practice this, of course, if you were here, we practiced the day before, kind of blending colors and experimenting, figuring out how to make the colors that we want. So I'm gonna come in here and notice that's a nice, dark, beautiful purple. You wanna start with red and add it to the blue. It's gonna have a little bit more blue. If you want a mauve color, you're going to do the opposite. So you're gonna start with the blue and add it to the red. But I think this particular purple goes beautifully with this kind of fuchsia pink that we have here. I'm gonna blend that together. Once again, adding just a touch of this water to blend it down. And then I'm gonna add this beautiful blue, this lighter blue color that we have in here. And I think those go together really well. Come down here, we're just gonna blend this. And I'm gonna go ahead, and now that you've seen kind of how this is done, I'm just gonna do a fast forward through it, and you can watch that.